Good morning. Good morning and welcome to today's reflection practice. We're going to give a couple of minutes for people that are coming on live to practice, an opportunity to join, and then we'll start. I'm reading a book by Diane Risetto called Waking Up to What You Do. This is a book about the Buddhist precepts, but truly it's a book about how to live life consciously, wholeheartedly, paying attention to what we do and how we do it. We live in such an unusual time, and perhaps this unusual time is becoming somewhat our usual time, and it's not easy. It's not easy to adjust to this reality of social distancing. And I know there are other terms that are attempting to replace this term that has such a heavy feeling to it. I read an article today, I don't remember the name of the psychologist that proposed to call it physical distancing with social solidarity. And I think that is such a beautiful sentiment. More than ever, when we can't have the more physical contact that we were used to, there is a growing need for social solidarity. And I think we all see it in every aspect of our lives. Today's reflection practice is about giving and receiving. The second Buddhist precept is about not stealing, but really in the much wider perspective of what is not stealing. And the other side of the coin is living with generosity. Being generous does not necessarily mean donating money, although of course that is also generous. But being generous in the perspective especially of the times we live in is perhaps noticing when someone else is having a difficult time and reaching out. There is something so wonderfully nourishing in giving. And perhaps you all know the feeling of the good feeling of helping, of giving, of providing. And we all know that this creates a pebble effect in the pond, right? We throw the pebble of generosity into the water of somebody's life. There is a very good chance that it will expand to others. In so many ways, we are not conscious of ourselves stealing. Not in the obvious ways of actually taking something that's not ours, a physical object, money, but in other more hidden ways. Taking the time of someone, putting an unfair load onto somebody's emotions, stealing somebody's happiness by creating an atmosphere of blame, of judgment. There is so much that is going on right now with the pandemic, with the social unrest, with the political upheaval. So many people are feeling that something is being taken away from them without their consent. And this goes to all people, all experiences. You can easily see that when you feel that you're being taken in whatever way, this creates an internal atmosphere that opposes generosity. So how can we stay wholehearted, giving and receiving? Because by receiving, we allow others to give us. When I used to have the women's group at the center, this was one of the evening's themes. Giving is receiving, receiving is giving. Allowing people to give you, asking for what you truly need. Being satisfied with the simpler things of life. Creating an atmosphere of love, of acceptance, is a beautiful way to live our lives that creates great happiness for us and for others. So with that said, I invite you to find yourself a comfortable position, perhaps seated or lying down, whatever supports your body and mind the most. As you give yourself this time, a time for reflection in relaxation. Soon the bell will sound. Indicating the beginning of today's practice. Perhaps gently, lightly close your eyes, inviting a deep breath into your body. And as you breathe in and out, notice the air as it enters and fills your chest, perhaps your belly, and then as it exits, allowing relaxation to spread throughout your body and your mind. Perhaps you notice where your body connects with the surface on which you're lying or seated, supported by that chair, floor, and beneath it all supported by our precious earth. Allow the breath to go in and out, now just coming to a natural rhythm of your breath as it is. Take a moment and simply bring the attention to the breath wherever you feel it most in the body as it goes in and out. Perhaps now take yourself in your mind's eye to a place that for you invites peacefulness and relaxation. It may be the room in which you are now sitting, or perhaps outdoors, wherever you are. Or it can be a place, imaginary or real, in which you have been, physically or in your mind's eye, inviting yourself to rest peacefully with a sense of safety, with a sense of calmness. And then let the mind wander. Invite it to take you to a past event, an experience of giving, an experience in which you have helped another person. You have given of your time, of your effort. Notice, as you bring this up in your mind, how the body responds, how the heart expands. Simply bring that event, this relationship, whether you knew the person personally or not. Bring it into your consciousness and let yourself rest with it as I grow silent for just a moment. Now bring into your consciousness perhaps a situation in which, as you look back, you have taken what wasn't yours to take. Perhaps in a relationship, perhaps in business. And notice how that feels in the body. Perhaps there is a contraction, perhaps a discomfort. What emotions are coming up for you? Simply notice without judgment as you become the observer of you. Perhaps you have taken what you did not really need it. Perhaps in small or big ways, you are reminded of something you have done in the past. That simply does not feel right in your heart. Rest with it. We all make mistakes. simply notice how it makes you feel going back to that. As we reflect in relaxation, take yourself in time to a situation, an event, a relationship in which you were receiving the help of someone in whatever way. Whether it's the time they gave you, an opportunity they provided you, perhaps financial help, or any other gift that you have received in small or big ways. And stay there exploring, how did it feel? In the body, in the mind. I invite you to inquire within yourself what feels more comfortable for you, giving or receiving. And if you find that one is more comfortable in the body and the mind than the other, then ask yourself, why is that? What is creating the discrepancy between how you feel when giving and when receiving? Becoming the observer of you. What is the lesson here for yourself? Without judgment, with great love and acceptance. I invite you now In this reflection and relaxation, to explore as you look at your life as a whole, as you look at your day to day, what can you be content with? What is enough? What truly brings you happiness in your life? And from this place, with this perspective, what is it that you truly need? And in what ways can you ask for it? Allowing others to give you. Take a moment, reflecting. What is enough? What is it that you truly need? How to ask for help so you receive what is needed. Now contemplate. What can you give? What is needed? In what small or big ways can you provide others with your gifts? Whatever these may be, a kind word, an effort to communicate, a sweet card in the mail, how can you give from your heart, from your mind, with generosity to those who need it? We all have gifts we can share. How can you share your gifts? Knowing that when you do, you are creating an avalanche of goodness. Take a moment. Diane Risetto says, How open are we with the spirit of giving our time, energy, talents, and commitment? How much time we take to stop and talk to a person who looks like he or she can use a friendly word. How much time we're willing to help out in ways that don't directly affect us. As you cultivate the spirit of generosity, see yourself reaching out, sharing your gifts, your talents, your heart, and notice how it feels in the body and the mind. Can you see generosity as a guiding light within your heart? Can you find generosity in your heart even for those you don't agree with, that perhaps you find challenging? Can you expand your generosity from those close to you to growing circles, to our earth, by being kind to our environment, to all living creatures, by being conscientious of what you are taking and where you are giving. I will not take anything not given. Practicing contentment by freely giving, asking for, and accepting what is needed. I will not take anything not given. Practicing contentment by freely giving, asking for, and accepting what is needed. Let us sit with this for a moment. In just a moment, the bell will sound, indicating the completion of today's reflection practice. You can invite more movement in the body, and you can stay in relaxation, in reflection, if this is what supports you, if this is what's needed at this time. From my heart to your heart, from my spirit to your spirit. Waking up to how we do things is a beautiful way to live our lives fully and completely. And until we meet again, I wish you health and happiness. Thank you.